not even into October yet. What happened was that again, with I think under a minute left or around a minute left, they had a punt and the punter just muffed it. He just did not catch the ball, and then he tried to kick it out of bounds. I mean, they're only like maybe 3, 4 yards. And Oklahoma State, of course, kicking the game-winning field goal. Man, if you're Texas right now, you just have a lot of questions. Again, starting with the coach. Should he be there? Um, he's had to change the culture the last couple of years. And it's funny because since Colt McCoy's injury in the national title game, 6 years ago, it's just been so difficult for Texas to get back in the limelight, and they just have had dud after dud recruiting classes, and it's just not been good. It really hasn't, and Texas just they have to start somewhere. And if Texas goes under 500 again, I do think their coach is going to be gone by the end of the year because it's Texas. It's not. No offense to again any other teams in the Big 12. Like again, if you're in Lubbock, you could probably afford that. If you're Kansas, definitely. But Texas is football. The state of Texas is. I'm in Texas right now, and I've been driving around the last couple of days. It's crazy how much they care about their football. It's a religion down here. It's as if it's again the equivalent to soccer in Europe. It's a religion down here. Um, and for Texas, again, this is just bad, and it may get worse later on. For Ohio State, they're the number one team in the country right now. They probably haven't played as the best team in the country, but look, everyone's gonna give them their best shot. Why? Because they're the defending national champions. Cardinal Jones getting the start, not bad. 288 yards, didn't only 19 of 33 passing. However, Ezekiel Elliott still pretty good again in the Heisman discussion, probably right now, maybe third behind Nick Chubb and Fournette. Again, it truly is the year of the running back in college football. Notre Dame blowing out UMass, no problem there. They have their big game at Clemson next week. Clemson's a top 15 team in the country and probably the only team in the ACC that has a legitimate shot to get to the Final Four. Alabama blowing out Louisiana Monroe at home after a huge disappointment to Ole Miss 2 weeks ago. TCU, man, really, really close game over Texas Tech, 55-52. They had to tip up a prayer here in the last minute of the game, and look, TCU caught it, and let's be honest here, it's like the NCAA tournament, survive and advance. It's as simple as that. The same rule applies as the NCAA tournament as it does in college football. TCU, look, they didn't play a great game, but they won. And like Ohio State, they had a couple of scares there as well. Survive in advance. Simple as that. Ole Miss had some trouble with Vanderbilt. Again, they had a great game against Alabama. Vanderbilt looked like a team that could possibly pull off the upset. However, Ole Miss pulling away late, 27-16. Texas A&M, really close game with Arkansas. I believe it was at AT&T Stadium. Wish it would have gone. Had to work, unfortunately. For Texas A&M, they're 4-0. They're going to be a top 10 team heading into conference play, I believe. It should be pretty interesting moving forward. Speaking of teams that probably shouldn't be, how the SEC has been a little down. Missouri doesn't look that great, well as Kentucky. Obviously, Kentucky beat them 21-13. Pretty good there. UCLA taking care of business over Arizona, blowing them out 56-30. And then on top of that, for Arizona, Scooby Wright's out for a couple weeks. He's a potential top 10 pick. For UCLA, look, Josh Rosen is probably as good of a candidate for the Heisman any other year, like I said, but there are probably three running backs behind him. Him and Kessler are two of the better quarterbacks in the conference. And UCLA is making a legitimate case to be in the national title. They're going to have to go through a hard schedule in Pac-12 play. We'll see what happens moving forward. Wisconsin getting back on their winning ways. 28-0 blowing out Hawaii. Northwestern defeating Ball State 24-19. And the last two games here, again, Pac-12 games. And then this is where we're looking at two other potential national title teams. Utah just blowing out Oregon 62-20. The worst loss for Oregon in over 30 years. Travis Wilson throwing 4 TDs in the game. Oregon just doesn't look like a team that we that had the high expectations early in the season. I mean, they were a top 10 team, top 5 team early in the season, and man, they just didn't. The last couple weeks have not been good. Vernon Adams playing hurt. Again, Lockie coming in. I didn't like Lockie as a quarterback. I'm glad they had Adams as a transfer, but when Adams isn't healthy, look, Lockie just doesn't have the confidence. He cannot make the throws. And when and Oregon needs. Here's the thing about Oregon. They need their offense for their defense to function properly. If their offense starts putting up points on the board and their opponent plays from behind. 24-14. They look pretty good as well. At Fresno State on the road, blowing them out 45-14. And then they beat a team who was supposed to be a team that could contend for the Final Four in Oregon, blowing them out. We're going to find out what Utah is. They're, again, number 10 in the country right now. And they have a first place vote in the AP. We're going to find out in the next couple weeks what type of team Oregon is. Starting off with Cal. In a couple weeks they play, not this weekend, but next weekend they play at home against Cal, who's ranked 24th in the country. First time, I believe, in 6 years that Cal's ranked as well. And Jared Goff's, again, another potential Heisman candidate, one of the premier quarterbacks out of the Pac-12. We'll see how they do. At home against Arizona State, they go to USC, and USC, man, they look good. Again, they beat Arizona State 42-14, and Cody Kessler looks like another legitimate Heisman candidate as well. They play at home against Oregon State. They go to Washington, they go to Arizona, and then they play at home. They get UCLA at home. They get past USC, they get past UCLA. That way, and then they've solidified their case as the Final Four team. Even if they lose the Pac-12 championship game, I could still see them as maybe a second team coming out of the Pac-12. That's how deep the Pac-12 is this season. I mean, you look at the talent that's there. UCLA is a premier team. Utah's not too far behind them. USC's recovered. And then don't forget about Stanford. Again, they beat USC. So, in terms of legitimate championship contenders, I could probably see 3. USC, UCLA, and Utah now. And then, I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, no conference really has more than 2. And then, of course, the ACC has 1. Clemson. But I don't even really think that a legitimate national title contender. Looking forward to the games next week, I mean, there's some good ones. Again, Clemson and Notre Dame. Notre Dame is an independent, technically speaking. They have the potential to take away a spot from one of the other big conferences. And it doesn't look good. Other games that you could probably watch, West Virginia, Oklahoma, that'd be a game to watch. Minnesota, Northwestern, if you're interested in that. Texas Tech, Baylor, that'll be an interesting one at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Ohio State and Indiana, that's on upset alert for me. Indiana is 4-0 to start off the season. Again, Ohio State's a big favorite in this game, but it's conference play. Let's see how they open up. The big game probably of the week, Alabama, Georgia. As I mentioned, it's at Georgia. It's in Athens. Georgia's a slight favorite here right now, which will, if they enter the game as a favorite for Georgia, it will snap a 5-year streak for Alabama as being the favorite. I think of over 72 games in a row, Alabama has been the favorite. This will snap that streak if Georgia stays, if that line stays as is. Oklahoma State go against Kansas State. Kansas State's 3-0 to start the season, and Bill Schneider and Kansas State, they always have good teams year in and year out. Ole Miss and Florida. Florida squeaking out a big win over Tennessee over the weekend. Ole Miss is the favorite, but it's at Gainesville. There is some potential for some upset here if Florida can get their offense together. This is a team that defensively looks really good. Again, if you want to watch the sensation Leonard Fournette, watch them take on Eastern Michigan. That's a late game on ESPNU. Another big SEC game, you have Mississippi State back in the top 25 at 21, taking on Texas A&M. It's at College Station. Should be a pretty good one there. Arizona State taking on UCLA. Notre Dame and Clemson. And then to finalize it, Arizona, just dropping out of the top 25, going to Palo Alto to take on Stanford. Those are just some of the games here to check out for this week. Should be pretty good. Let's take a short break, but when we come back, we'll talk about baseball. Haven't really talked about baseball too much this season, but it's been pretty interesting. I'm not going to talk about any of the Cy Young Award winners. I'm just going to talk about who my favorites are to get to the World Series. Simple as that. We're going to play some more music here on the Spicy Sports Show with Sam Stern on Spreaker Radio.
When you feel all the corners of the universe pull you down, all the hope in the world is starting to reverse, and you doubt. Don't you know that you shine like an ending sun? You can be anything that you're dreaming of. Like a star, you're electric in heaven's dawn. So come on, let it go, let it go. You are more than words. In your soul, you are beautiful. Don't you know, you are burning through the dark, shining like electric stars. Whoa. More than you'll ever know. You're surreal. Don't believe all the lies that subdue your hope. Just believe. Don't you know that you shine like an ending sun? You can be anything that you're dreaming of. Like a star, you're electric in heaven's dawn. So come on, let it go, let it go. You are more than words. In your soul,